LeBron James is insufferable and needs help with public speaking. I don't even know that he understands what he's saying and how he comes off, or if he has the awareness of it. I just don't think that he was taught. And I think that he lacks the emotional intelligence and actual intelligence to read the room, quite frankly. I think he understands the mathematics of the algorithm of the internet and the media and how that works. And if he says something, it's going to go viral. So I think he understands that 1+1 = 2, but I don't think he understands like social indiscretions. I don't think that he genuinely gets how he's coming off to other people. And perhaps if he does, he just probably doesn't care because his fans are going to run with it anyway. So I think that was really interesting. And it's so crazy because, people say that Skip Bayless, that he built his career off of hating off LeBron James. He built his career that way. People they don't get that Skip Bayless keeps the same energy. He's been hating players since Godzilla was a baby. Okay. He's been hating players since television was in like black and white. And I don't even know if it's that he hates players. He's a journalist and he believes that he's reporting, whether it be a hot take, reporting something that he believes to be true, something that, he might have heard. And I'll never forget. So where I remember Skip Bayless from, it's not from him building his career about, LeBron James. I remember Skip Bayless from his interview on the Deion Sanders show. And I don't know, have any of you guys ever seen it? Because to me, LeBron James is not the most hated athlete in sports history or NBA history. Not at all. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. I think that so many other players have gotten just horrible stories put out there about them by the media. And I mean, Skip Bayless, he puts out a ton of stories about all different kinds of people. It's not even racially motivated. Okay. He'll talk about a star player that's white. He will talk about star players that are black. And his favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys, he went in on them. He had a whole book dedicated to the Dallas Cowboys. He was there. He had just so much vitriol from those players. The players wound up hating him as a result of this book. And I want you guys to see this interview, and I want you guys to just see how ruthless, how diabolical Skip Bayless was back in the day. And it's nothing in comparison to what LeBron James and LeBron James fans believe that he was doing to him. So I'm going to play this for you guys, and we'll chat and let me know what you guys think.
Where do you get off stating that one of my teammates is a homosexual? Where are your facts? Do you know how detrimental that is to
I don't state that at all. This book is about a very troubled, paranoia-plagued relationship, or lack thereof, between your quarterback, Troy Aikman, and Barry Switzer, that disintegrated over a 2-year period to where they didn't even speak the last couple of months of last season. And one side, the Switzer side, as I call them, the Switzer camp, John Blake, a buddy of yours, obviously very well, Danny Bradley, Dean Blevins, who supported Switzer within the organization, believed that Troy wanted them gone. And I believe that Troy wanted them gone. He's not a Switzer fan. I talked at length to Troy.
Now, wait a second. About the homosexual part.
When it got so dark, as you recall, in early December, the final grenade lob from camp to camp was that, the old rumor, it's 5 years old here in Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm sure a lot of people had heard it before, that Troy is gay. Now, I talked to Troy about it.
I have never heard that. This is a man. I'm not gay, but Troy is a good-looking guy.
He is a good-looking guy. I agree.
And I'm sure
he can get any woman he wants. He says he is absolutely not gay.
Do you know what
yes, I know exactly what it is.
Will do to a guy like Troy Aikman, whose endorsement potential is unbelievable?
Troy says that he's gotten a lot of mail about this over the last 4 or 5 years.
I'm sure.
And he took the opportunity in this book to just completely shoot a hole in it. We're talking about 5 pages out of 300, and when you get to it, you'll just shake your head, and it'll be a pretty ho-hum part of this feud that's going on between them. You will put no credibility in it, no credence.
Yep.
And Troy took the opportunity to put it to bed.
Journalism 101. Journalism 101.
Right.
You do not print rumors. A rumor is just that. It's a rumor.
We're getting completely off the subject of the book. This is such a tiny part.
What about this, Skip? How Troy, Barry, Jerry, and Deion, and Emmett, and Michael won it all in spite of themselves? What kind of statement is that?
You tell me what you think of this quote from Troy Aikman. He told me on February 15th, 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, that from what he knows about what went on inside your team, what you accomplished as a team was the greatest achievement in sports history. Now, you were a two touchdown favorite in the Super Bowl. Would you agree with that statement?
That's a hell of a way to clean that up, Skip. But I'm not buying it.
No, seriously, that's a pretty strong statement.
When you write a book like this, Skip, excuse me, when you write a book like this, Are you looking for controversy to sell your book? Are you writing facts or beliefs of
That's
yourself?
a great story. That's a significant story to tell. If what he overcame, let's just say it was just Troy's overcoming some of the things that were inflicted upon him by Barry Switzer and company. And they're all detailed. I talked to everybody at length for the book, and I back everything up with the quotes. Again, the gay thing is such a small part.
It's not a small part unless it's yourself.
But you haven't read the book. And if you did, you say it was a small part.
I can't say that.
I read the book, okay, and I found a lot of it just to be regurgitated old cowboy stories. We've heard them all.
No, I think you haven't heard any of these stories.
Yeah, I think we have. We've heard about Kevin Williams. We've heard about all of these things. We've heard about the Troy Barry friction. We've
But
heard
nobody
a lot of these
reported the
stories.
backdrop of the story. It's a character study between two very strong men who sometimes under the incredible pressure that we inflict here as a group on the coach and quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, occasionally they became these sort of irrational, paranoia-plagued combatants during the year. And again, I interviewed both of them at length, and it's backed up with the quotes in the book. And if you read it, you won't think it's so bad. You'll think it's just two human beings under the incredible, as you've experienced, heat of battle.
I don't know about that.
That's how
Skip,
I
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
When you go over there to the Cowboys now, when you visit, do you feel friction because of your book? Because I know a lot of my teammates really don't like you at this time.
But I can't, that's my job. I mean, that's what I do for a living. And I told a very significant story that I think 20 years from now, people look back on it and it'll be on somebody's bookshelf. And it was again, if this was the greatest achievement ever, I make Troy Aikman out to be a hero in this book. Hey,
it's very interesting reading.
Here's the deal. I wrote a book in 92, 93 on Jimmy versus Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson. And everybody said, well, you exaggerated all that. And then 5 months later, what happened? Jerry fired Jimmy. And everybody said, that's impossible. That could not have happened. And it was all in my book. That's what I do for a living. I'm a reporter, and I'll stand on 25 years of reputation. And I don't think we've heard the end of this yet.
We haven't, because you know what I found about this book after reading this book? There seems to be a lot of personal stuff in this book.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different things between you and Troy and you and Barry. You're almost pitted everyone else against everyone else, unbeknownst to them.
Well, now you tell me, did they speak the last 2 months of the season?
Yes, they did.
No, they did not. Absolutely.
I'm there.
Well, I saw mine.
I'm at practice. I'm on the field. How can you tell me they didn't speak the last 2 weeks?
I know.
The last
I
month of the
quote
season?
Troy in the book is saying that they didn't speak. It was from, I'll tell you what, it was the December, Monday after the second Washington loss, whatever that was, the 5th of December. From that point until about at least a month after the Super Bowl, I promise you they didn't speak.
Skip Bayless. I mean, I just want to know, guys, do you see anything different from back then than you do today? Because I do, actually. I think Skip Bayless has gone so much lighter on NBA players, football players, whomever. I mean, could you imagine today if NBA players were treated the way that they were back then, the way that their lives were open to all kinds of criticism? Skip Bayless would be tearing LeBron James up for the stories that came out about him and Drake and Diddy. Forget it. LeBron James wouldn't have been able to play this season if this was the 90s and he was ever seen at a Diddy party. Please. Skip Bayless would have been all over that. There'd be a book written about it. There'd be a book detailing his partying at the Diddy parties, him potentially having affairs on his wife, you know, the comments that Kevin Gates made, all these little like personal things that are, you know, have no business being spoken about. Skip Bayless would have brought it up today if he was actually the most hated person in sports history, but that's just not true. Could you imagine? Troy Aikman probably lost endorsements as a result of that book. Who knows what he's had to go through trying to combat gay rumors his entire life, whether it's true or not. He didn't want that revealed. So, you know, could you imagine LeBron James getting exposed for something like that or a lie being made up? LeBron James fans would be all over it. But I think what's most important is just how LeBron James continues to lower the standard. First, we went from winning is all that matters. Then we went from, you know, oh, no, actually winning doesn't matter. It's stats. It's you could be a great player, but you don't need to win. No big deal if you don't win. I can call myself the greatest of all time. Didn't need a championship to do that. But you did before. In 2008, you did before. But when all of a sudden, when MJ says, hey, after LeBron James's first title, who would he choose to be on his team? And he rolls with Kobe Bryant. And he says, hey, 5 is better than 1. 5 is better than 1, LeBron. Sorry. LeBron James has been obsessed with, I think, disrespecting Michael Jordan in that era. He's been obsessed with erasing his legacy. And I think it's really just a cry for attention. He's wanted his mentorship, his companionship, his friendship, his respect. At the very minimum, he wants Michael Jordan to respect him, and he won't.